Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're already at week 7, only 2 weeks from the halfway point of this season. Been a pretty good season, and well, it's time for the 7th time that I'm doing this, predicting the games for this week. Get ready for some upsets, and well, some stuff you already expected. And really, I would just like to say that I've liked this series a lot, and I like it more when people acknowledge my work, so maybe leave a comment down below. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. First of the week, we have Steelers and Bengals, Aaron Rodgers versus Joe Flacco. The two oldest quarterbacks in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. At least we don't have Jake Browning anymore. It's better. We still have him, but he's not playing. And if Joe Flacco gets injured, we should put up the 3rd string because Jake Browning should be the 15th string the way he's been playing. So Joe Flacco, can he play a good football game? I don't know. I didn't see that much of Packers and Bengals, but all I know is that, the Bengals, they didn't win. So I assume that Joe Flacco played enough to do some stuff, but not enough to beat the Packers. And this is why this week they won't be the Steelers. So I'm going to go with the Steelers over the Bengals, 27-16. Next up, we have another one of those games outside of the country. Rams and Jaguars. Jaguars didn't win last week. The Rams, I don't remember who they played. Oh, actually, they played the Ravens, but they didn't beat the Ravens by that much. I'm a little confused on who to pick this one because the Rams haven't looked good the past few weeks. They lost to my 49ers, and they almost lost to the Ravens. Aren't that good at all anymore, that they've lost their whole entire defense and Lamar right now. So I don't know who to pick, but to be normal, I'm gonna go with the Rams over the Jaguars. I'm not exactly sure if this will happen. This is one of the predictions where I don't actually agree with whatever I'm gonna predict either way, but I'm going to go with the Rams over the Jaguars, 17-13. Next up, we have Eagles and Vikings. I don't know who to pick on this one. The Eagles have lost to the Giants and the Broncos in back-to-back weeks. The Broncos almost lost to the Jets, and the Vikings are just the Vikings. They're just chilling around. I think the Vikings are at home. This might be weird, but I am going to go with Minnesota. I'm not sure if Carson Wentz or J.J. McCarthy is playing, but they don't need Carson Wentz when they have a good running game. They can just run the ball a lot. And the Eagles, it's one thing they can't defend. It is the run game. So, if the Vikings run the ball on the Eagles, I could see the Vikings winning. So that's why I'm going to go with Minnesota over Philadelphia, 17-10. Next up, we have Patriots and Titans. 2 weeks ago, I would have said this is a mid-off. Now, I'm going to say it's a blowout. Drake May has been looking phenomenal. I think he can continue that. And the Titans, they're just a bad team. They suck. So, obviously, I'm going to go with the Patriots. Drake May has been playing MVP caliber football, which is insane because he's only in his 2nd year. And this Titans team has been playing in VP caliber football, not valuable player instead of most valuable player football. So, of course, I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one. I'm going to be generous towards Tennessee. I'm going to go with Patriots 27-13. Next up, we have Panthers and Jets. In the past 2 weeks, I have entrusted both of these teams beating Dallas. One of them beat Dallas, and one of them rolled over and died. That's why I'm going with the Panthers. They actually beat Dallas, and the Jets are just slowly lying. They're 0-6. They haven't won a football game since, Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback. So, this isn't looking great for you, whatever program. I almost said the Tennessee Titans. That's how irrelevant the Jets are right now. But whatever, I just know the Panthers will beat the Jets. It's not a think, it's not a wonder. I know the Panthers will beat the Jets. And I'm going to go with the Panthers over the Jets. Let's go 27-16. Next up, we have Dolphins and Browns. A good defense versus the Miami Dolphins. Gonna go with the Browns on this one. They're at home. Their defense is made of a wall. Just an actual wall. Without a door. No windows. Just a wall. And you can't pass by it. And, well, Miami, if there's one team that can't pass by that wall, it is definitely Miami. Because Miami's just... The Dolphins are just not it. The Dolphins have not looked like it at all. They've only had one win, and that was against a team that is even worse than them somehow, being the Jets. The Dolphins aren't good at football still. It's not gonna be different this week because they almost lost to the Jets. And the Jets are doing this stuff right now. Of course, I'm going to go with the Browns. That sounds very weird to say, but I'm going to go with the Browns. Maybe Dylan Gabriel can have a better game. Not exactly sure. I don't even know if we had a bad game because I didn't keep up with Steelers and Browns, who really did, except for Tubfrog, who has to write down that stuff. But, yeah, of course, I'm just going to go with the Browns because this game is just... It's probably the closest thing I've had to a mid-off that isn't a mid-off with the Raiders or Titans. So I'm going to go with the Browns over the Dolphins, 16-13. Okay, next we have Saints and Bears. This could be a pretty good one. The Saints played a fight against the Patriots, and they've beaten the Jets, Giants. You see what I'm doing? The Jets are just getting tossed around because they suck so much. The Giants don't suck, but because they beat the Eagles, but whatever. So they almost beat the Patriots, and they beat the Giants. So they're looking pretty good. Now, Chicago, they just beat the Commanders on Monday Night Football, which I did not expect to happen, but it did. So the Bears are going to win this one. Caleb Williams has been looking better. The Bears have just been overall a well-rounded team, and the Saints have been playing good, but not good enough to beat the Bears. So I'm going to go with the Bears over the Saints, 20-13. Okay, I have a tale for you guys. One foggy Christmas Eve, the Raiders came to town, and they beat the Chiefs and kicked their heads, and the floor had now gained a crown. But that will not happen, okay? The Chiefs just beat the Lions on Sunday Night Football, and the Raiders almost lost to the Titans. The Raiders are so bad that they managed to almost lose to the Titans. And the Cardinals lost to the Titans, but we're going to talk about them later. And by later, I mean probably the next slide. But whatever. So the Raiders, they've just been looking not that great. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So, of course, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are at home as well, which means, the Raiders are going to get cooked. So, I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Raiders, 27-13. Next up, we have Colts and Chargers. This is weird. The Colts almost lost to the Cardinals last week, who lost to the Titans. That doesn't connect. And the Chargers almost lost to the Dolphins. That was actually kind of expected. But I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. The Chargers are super duper mega trooper injured. And of course, they're not going to win when half of their team is on IR. So of course, I'm going to go with the Colts. Danny Dimes has just been playing good football. I'm sorry, excuse me. His name is not Danny Dimes. His name is Indiana Jones. I apologize, Daniel. But anyways, the Colts are just good, and are the Chargers good? Not exactly sure about that. They're just the Chargers. Maybe they're choking in the regular season instead of the playoffs this time. Do they realize that the playoffs don't happen unless you have a good record? Whatever. So I'm going to go with the Colts over the Chargers, 34-23. Next up, we have Giants and Broncos. An upset is brewing. Jackson Dart is him. I like Jackson Dart. The Broncos almost lost to the Jets, and the Jets almost lost to nothing because they keep losing, and they won't not lose. So, of course, this might be weird, but I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Giants. Jackson Dart has been playing out of his mind. He beat the Eagles. The Broncos beat the Eagles, but they beat the Eagles by more than the Broncos beat the Eagles, so therefore they will beat the Broncos. Logic in football doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's genius. So I'm going to go with the Giants over the Broncos, 27-20. Next up, we have Packers and Cardinals. The Cardinals almost beat the Colts, so we're just going to act like that didn't happen and talk about the Cardinals losing to the Titans. And the Packers are the Green Bay Packers. Don't know who to go with here. I'm going to go with the Packers because it feels more logical than going with the Cardinals, who are just the Cardinals. Like, they almost beat the Colts and they lost to the Titans? How do you do that? I'm confused about the Cardinals, so I don't know where to place them yet. Should I tell them that they're going to lose every week, or should I tell them they're going to win every week? Not exactly sure. This week I'm going with the Packers because I'm, very, very confused about what's happening in the NFL right now. It's already week 7, and I don't even know who is a contender, which is just insane. So, of course, I'm going to go with the Packers in this one. Maybe a close game, not exactly sure, but I'm going to go with the Packers over the Cardinals, 23-19. And the final game before Sunday Night Football, we have Commanders and Cowboys. I don't care if Dallas is home. Give me the Commanders. The Commanders own the Cowboys. This is a new saying that I have invented. The Commanders own the Cowboys. It kind of rhymes. It doesn't rhyme, but I feel like it rhymes because I have power in these words that I'm saying. The Commanders are going to beat the Cowboys. Did I just say Pow Girls? You know, let's keep it because it's funny. But I don't understand. So I'm going to go with the Commanders. There's nothing more to say. The Cowboys defense is made of butter. So, of course, I'm going to go to the Commanders over the Cowboys, 34-20. Falcons, you think you've beaten an opponent in the Bills, but little do you know, we're at home, and we're very good at home. I don't know if Mac Jones or Brock Purdy is playing, but it doesn't matter, because the world needs to know who we are. Sorry. Thanos just went into my room. I'm very sorry about that, guys. But anyways, I'm just going to make my prediction. Let me look for it. Oh, it's 49ers and Falcons. I'm going to go with the 49ers because, the 49ers are just a little better, and they're my 49ers. And I always trust in them to win. So I'm going to go with the Falcons down under the 49ers. The 49ers winning 27-23. First game of a Monday Night Football doubleheader games. We have Buccaneers and Lions. Last week we saw that Lions defense is it's back to its old ways, and the Buccaneers are continuing to roll, being another good opponent in the 49ers. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers over the Lions in this one. Pretty good game for the Buccaneers, I'm predicting. I'm going to go with them over the Lions, 37-19. Might be a little high, but I believe in this offense against a pretty bad defense. And last but not least, the final game of Week 7, Texans and Seahawks. Weird. This is very weird. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. They've been looking pretty good. They beat a quality opponent in the Jaguars. So they've been a pretty good team. And the Texans, they just haven't looked like a full-on team, if you understand what I mean. The only good game they've had is against the Ravens, but the Ravens are just slowly collapsing. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks over the Texans in a pretty good one. Sam Darnold will have a good game. I'm going to go with the Seahawks 20 and the Texans 16. Another great week of NFL predictions. Thank you so much to 3 people that watch my videos every single week. I really appreciate it, and it helps me out a ton getting me to other people. And as you always know, make some comments about what was your favorite prediction and what prediction you don't agree with that much. But anyways, if you like more sports content like this, I have mostly NFL, and I toss in some NBA content. Probably NBA has gone out of the window at this point. But anyways, I hope you have a nice day, and bye.